Okay, good.
And as a representative of Ogadennia National Liberation Front, Professor Muhammad Hassan. Thank you. So now we will start the presentation. This is, as you all know, as you are invited for, it is about the People's Alliance for Freedom and Democracy, which was established last year between 5 liberation fronts in the Horn of Africa, and that is one Ogadennia National Liberation Front, Oromo Liberation Front, Gambella, as well as Benishangul and the Sudan Liberation Front. So I'm not going to tell you the objective was the establishment of the organization, but it's a collision against the common enemy of the Habasha government in Ethiopia, just for the racial colonization and all sorts of injustice that is being practiced on these people and other people within Ethiopia or the Empire of Ethiopia. So I will call upon or my friend Tumsa Magalaa to start his presentation. Thank you.
I would like to say Assalamu alaikum to our neighbor and our brothers. Somali and Oromos are the same people, and we are the neighbor too. So I will say hi, and dear Oromo friends, Ogadennia diaspora, and dear the Ogadennia National Liberation Front representative here, Professor Muhammad, and dear Oromo compatriot. First and foremost, First and foremost, I would like to thank the work and coordination by the OLF Toronto chapter and Canada-wide committee, and as well as all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Today's public gathering is first and in its kind because of the alliance. We shall embrace such many meetings to come in the future. I'm glad today to be part of the train is leaving the station. That means People's Freedom and Alliance is going to be moving. As you may know very well, the oppressed people history is similar in nature and experience. The colonized people and nations has the same experience being the subject of colonizers' subjection and oppressive institution. That is why the colonized people struggle is inseparable and complementary. One. The OLF believes that the unity of colonized people will fasten the decolonization and will bring harmonious peace and stability among the oppressed nations and nationalities in Ethiopian Empire State. The OLF believes that the unity is the instrument of strength, and it brings balanced political forces in the region and will force the northern Abyssinian forces to think twice about peace and war. The failure of the oppressed people to develop mutual understanding and launch coordinated struggle to free their people has only benefit the oppressed people. And the other way is to prolong its tyrannical life and strengthen its political, economic, and military grips. Based on this principle, realizing that the need of strong commitment for stronger solidarity and unity of purpose than ever before to intensify our struggle against the most brutal dictatorial regime of Ethiopia, or the TPLF in name, to coordinate and to intensify our struggle against the TPLF regime of Ethiopia, to bring justice and freedom to the people, to allow progress toward lasting peace, stability, and prosperous future. Committed to self-determination of people, including independence, to unshackle them from centuries-old deceptive unity, designed to keep them in chain. The Benshangul People's Liberation Movement, the Gambela People's Liberation Movement, the Ogadenyan National Liberation Front, the Oromo Liberation Front, and the Sidama National Liberation Front, creates the People's Alliance for Freedom and Democracy. Decide to create this organization is to enhance the struggle and the unity of the oppressed people, to bring lasting cooperation to struggle against the most repressive TPLF regime and a united effort among oppressed people to eradicate the underlying cause of poverty, bloodshed, social injustice, and the violation of human rights in Ethiopian empire by honoring unanimously upheld cardinal truths that unity among the colonized people offers the best and offers the best and hope to ending this domination and attaining full right of the people for self-determination, including independence. Such principled determination brought our organizations together to fight the common enemies of our nation, common national interest, that is, the liberation of our people. The OLF support any nations and nationalities the right to self-determination. When we say this, it is not for the fun, the purpose of principle. We believe let the people decide their own future through the democratic norms which the UN charters governing such conflict will allow the democratic resolution by the people through referendum. The OLF is clear about its intention when we say let the people decide their own fate, not the gun or strong Abyssinian means from north. We as a people, as an individual, and as a nation, after all, the OLF condemned the genocide of the Ogadenyan people by this fascist regime. The Gambela, the Benshangul, the Sidams, we strongly condemn and stand by the oppressed people of Ethiopia. We oppose the system of the government, not the people of Tigray or others. We committed for justice, not for genocide. After 25 years of camouflage, intrigues, and indirect rules, the TPLF Executive Committee decided to remove the camouflage on February 26, 2016, invaded the regional state of Oromiyaa completely by their own Tigray-based army by disregarding the country's national constitution, which the unity of the country is based on the 9 federal system consent to exist. When one regional state invade another regional state by forces, disregarding the voluntary Gambelas, The TPLF terrorists are responsible for the disintegration of Ethiopia by declaring genocidal war on the peaceful Oromo people and even by removing their own puppet civilian regional government entirely and replacing by 8 journalists from Tigray origin. Now, the Oromo people have the legitimate right to defend themselves in any way or shape from the Tigray terrorist regional government forces in their paid foreign mercenaries. We believe that at this moment, the foreign mercenaries are killing the Oromo people and other people. Until today, March 5, 2016, 600 Oromos have been massacred, 4,000 wounded, and more than 350,000 are arrested and tortured and raped. Oromiyaa is bleeding at this time. And the genocide is continuing in full scale, including as usual, without the world knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, People's Alliance for Democracy holds the principle of one for all for one policy, meaning an attack on any alliance member is an attack on all members of the alliance. Because we are one alliance committed to one common goal. That goal is the liberation of our people from the most barbaric and savage region in Ethiopia. Notably, the colonized nations, the nationalities unity, and there's to the TPLF fascist occupation forces. Thank you.
First of all, unless you acknowledge if your enemy is smart, it buys you nothing if you convince yourself he's dumb. If your enemy has succeeded where you have failed, unless you acknowledge, the first step is you acknowledge that your enemy has succeeded, has defeated you, but you have to make sure that your enemy has only won the war, not the battle. We have to acknowledge Wayana, the Ogaden Somalis, alone by themselves, number-wise are more than the Wayanas. Forget about the Oromos. The Gambelas and the Sidamas together are more than the Wayanas. So we have to ask ourselves, why somebody that is numerically insignificant when you're talking about Ethiopia, when you're talking about Abyssinia, the first time they have defeated us is when they called us Ethiopia. It's a modern day invention. Because if you say Abyssinia, those are the highlanders. They go back to the highlands. And we know where the highlands start, and we know where the highlands stop. So, in order to hide that, they said, oh, it's Ethiopia. And then they even moved behind that. They said, oh, we're the Lion of Africa. Okay? And a lot of people, a lot of black Africans have bought into that fiction. They said, oh, we have never been colonized. The question is, who are you talking about? Are you talking about the Oromos? Are you talking about the Ogadens, Somalis? Are you talking about the Sidamas, the Gambelas? Who are you talking about that has not been colonized? We have been colonized. The Abyssinians themselves have been colonized, but they don't want to acknowledge. That's why they removed 5 years away from their calendar, just to claim those are the 5 years that they were under colony. That's smart. So our first step as the new united front is we have to learn from our enemy. The first thing we have to learn is we are united, we can defeat them militarily. We can defeat them in the diaspora. We can uncover the fiction that they have sold to the West. But unless we are united, we cannot do that. If the Oromos are divided between Christians and non-Christians and non-believers, you're not going to go anywhere. If the Ogaden Somalis are divided into all, the Ogaden, the clan wants to dominate everyone else, the rest of the Somalis, this and that, it's not going to work. If the Gambelas are told, oh, you're too black, or the Sidamas, because that's why even the Oromos don't want to acknowledge you. We're all Africans. We're all black. It doesn't matter whether you're a little bit light skinned or not. But that is the trick that they have used to divide us. That is the trick that they have used to dominate the entire country. That's a country of nations. It's not one nation. It is a community of nations. We are in Canada. We have to learn from the Canadian system. You look at the provinces. These are provinces that are brought together by one goal. They don't agree. Many of them do not even share a language. You look at Quebec. They want to leave the nation. But the rest of the nation say we are better off when we are one. So this alliance is quite timely. But the alliance is not going to succeed unless everyone who is here today and everyone who is not here today decide today enough is enough. Enough with the Wayana colonization. So unless every one of us, we can agree on things on paper, our leaders can talk as much as they want, but the leaders are not going to get anywhere on paper. They will go somewhere when we start advocacy from here in Canada. When we go to our members of parliament and show them that the fiction that they have been sold, there is no democracy in Ethiopia. We know that. But how come we are not convincing the rest of Canadians that it's a fiction? It's our failure. So while I welcome our leaders' new unity, while I welcome the new endeavor to unite the colonized people in that newly created country called Ethiopia, which did not exist 100 years ago, we have to decide and agree that we have to advocate. We have to start the advocacy today. We have to sell the alliance's objectives to the Canadian government, to the Americans, to the Europeans, so that those of us in the diaspora can close every Wayana door from the West. That will give a chance to the armed struggle. That will give them a chance. When the Ogaden National Liberation Front succeeded in closing militarily every avenue the Wayane had in selling their fiction, guess what card they said they will play? They said, oh, now we're ready to talk. It has been 2 years. It has been 4 years. What happened? It was for them to buy time. It was for them to label the Ogaden National Liberation Front as people who are not willing to give peace a chance. But guess what? Thanks to our leadership, we played their game better than they did. And now we can show their face. When the Oromos have grown militarily, you guys know better than I do what they did. They said, oh, there's another Oromo Liberation Front. So they created they tried to create two fronts. You know, because they know when you're united, regardless of your religion, regardless of which region you're from, regardless of which city you're from, when the Oromos are united, no one in Ethiopia can stand in front of you. But you guys are not united. So now, the new unity that we have is great on paper. My challenge to you, my challenge to all of you here is let's make it in action. Let's put it into action. Whether you're Oromo, Ogden, Somali, Gambela, Benishungur, Sidama, it doesn't matter. We have all been colonized by one enemy. We have one enemy. Whether you're a Christian, a Muslim, a non-believer, it doesn't matter. We have all been colonized. Let's hold hands together. Let us remove the Wayana colonization from all our peoples and even the other peoples who are not part of the alliance. They are also victims. And let us fight them militarily. Let's fight them with the pen. Let's fight with them in advocacy. Let us unearth the fiction that they have sold the West. The West has bought the fiction that they wrote a beautiful a constitution. But guess what? An American professor said, if the Wayanas implement 35%, that's 1/3 only, of what is written in the Constitution, they said the Ethiopian people, all the nations under Ethiopia, will be prosperous. There will be a lasting peace. And the issue of colonization will be solved for once and for all. That means they have no intention. They wrote the Constitution in order to sell the West that they are no longer communist. Look at our failure. How can Meles, who was a known communist, how can he come to the West and say he's a Democrat? Isn't it our failure? Every one of us. How can he sell himself? Yesterday he was a communist. He believed in communist ideals. He actually wrote books for the Tigrayan Liberation Front. If you look at their manual, it's based on communist ideals. And all of a sudden, overnight, he became a Democrat. Why? Because all of us failed. All of us failed to show the West. Excuse me, this guy is not a Democrat. He has no intention. He doesn't even understand democracy. So we failed. But now, forget about Meles. He's gone. Forget about his minions who are there. They cannot do much. They could not stop the Wayana uprising that said, enough is enough, I'm not going to give up my farm. Why could they not do something about when they wanted to take over the farms near Addis Ababa in the name of expanding the city? Who are the people who will be marginalized? It's the Oromos. This is the most fertile land closer to Addis Ababa, and they say we're going to build condos, condominiums. You think that they're going to sell it to the Oromo farmers? No. Look at what happened in Gambela. They have sold the most fertile land to an Indian company. That Indian company has today 1,000 hectares of the most fertile land in Gambela, the entire of Gambela. Is any one of you aware how much of that land did the Indian company cultivate? 1,000. They own 100,000 hectares of fertile land, but they only have farmed and cultivated 1,000 hectares. It is a new way of colonizing our people. That land is our land. The land that belongs to Gambela belongs to Ogaden and Somalis as well. It's their land, so I will support them. Because when the Gambela land is taken today and I do nothing about it, guess what? Who's next? It's the Oromos. You see today it's happening. And then what will be next? They have already taken our land in Ogaden. So, now they are in the business of selling our fertile land. You may be saying, wait a minute, if a crook sells my land, it's not going to stand. Sorry, you're mistaken. It will stand. Because Ethiopia is an internationally recognized government. So whatever that government signs, they can be taken to whoever comes tomorrow. If they sold Oromo land, okay, you cannot kick out that Indian man that now owns your land. So before it's too late, let us fight the one enemy that we have, which is the Wayane. The one enemy we have is not the entire Wayane. It is the clique, be it in the military, be it in the business, or be it the politicians. That clique is the clique that is our common enemy. We have to succeed in liberating also the victims. The Wayane themselves were victims. They are like us. We will only succeed when we succeed in recruiting them to our cause. In showing them that the Wayane clique has nothing there for them. Look at, how many businesses the Zenawi clan has in the entire of Ethiopia. What happened to the oldest university in Africa, Addis Ababa University? What happened to it? It has been looted. They took everything and then they said Magalaa University. Magalaa University used to be a small place where they did not even have a single Wayane professor. But they forced the professors, if they don't go to Magalaa, they'll be fired. Now today, Magalaa has a better airport than the Addis Ababa International Airport. In fact, today, if you want to fly from Toronto, they will give you almost 30% discount if you have to land in Magalaa International Airport instead of Addis Ababa. This colonization has gone into a lot of areas. And as a united people, let's put our heads together. Our fight is not one of, fighting with a gun. Let's leave those who have the gun on our behalf to liberate us militarily. Those of us who are here, let us fight by being advocates for the cause. Let us show the West that we are united. Let's show them we are united, not because we are all one religion, not because we are all one color or one creed. We are united because we are a colonized people, regardless of who we are. And let us sell and advocate on behalf of all the colonized people, and let us unmask the Wayane for the crooks that they are, for the genocide killers that they are, for the looters that they are, for every adjective that you can find in the English language that they are. Let us show the world that we are more knowledgeable, that we are more powerful militarily as a united peoples, colonized peoples, than as individuals, be it OLF, ONLF, the Sidama Liberation, doesn't matter. Let us fight as one, let's fight as a united people, and let us show the world the genocide killers of who they are. Thanks very much.